God is in the shadow, because when you say you're dealing with his shadow, you're dealing with God. That's a massive amount of fucking energy. Like, we're not dealing with something that is like, weak. We're actually dealing with real power here. But it's being filtered through this particular lens that we say is the shadow. Right? So when we say that we're dealing with someone's whole entire being, and I say, oh, I love you for who you are, that's what that means. I love you for the massive shadow you have, and I love you for the person you are right now. And you're not even at your fullest potential right now, and I'm in love with you. And why do I stick around? Because I see the opportunity, precious potential that you can become. You're an investment. That's what relationships are. We mutually benefit and invest in each other to become our best selves. That's a relationship, but look how hard that is, because I only want the best of you. I don't want the worst. Like, you have to deal with the shadow. You have to deal with the worst. So when a person says, I love you, this person doesn't say it with a happy smile. They say it with tears. Because it's painful to love you. It's very painful. And it should be. Because you're dealing with a real person.
When we don't then start tapping in to that shadow work of, like just dealing with all the pain or whatever, that I feel like we then have an issue, or we can't, for some people they have to balance needing and wanting instead of choosing one, right? If you're in a relationship, because there's a lack somewhere because of their pain and suffering elsewhere. And so it'll come off as if, no, I do need you for X, Y, and Z. But it's like, do you need me? Like, like if you were to deal with your list of whatever it is that's been holding you back or whatever the fuck, you wouldn't need me. You would 100% just want me.
Yeah, that's a good point, because that early on in our relationship as well, where like the anxiety brought about this feeling to release only through sex. Like, that was the main way to do it. So, we got into arguments, based on this principle, because it was like, well, you're high anxiety, I'm not. You want sex more than me. I can't keep up with that. Does that make me a bad candidate as a boyfriend or, as a partner back then? So that was being brought into question, which is naturally genuine, right? Because is this person gonna fulfill me, right? That's one of the main criteria you get with someone. Let's be honest, right? Like, I need you to fulfill me, not in everything, but in some departments. And whatever my criteria is, that's fair, right? So one of those criteria was she wanted me to have more of a higher sexual drive, and a lot of that too was about other stuff, which I'll let her talk about if she chooses to, but we're just talking about how anxiety caused sex.
Yeah. Because it's like, yes, okay, that's true. But I also remember.
There's more, yeah. Please elaborate. Add to.
Like in the beginning, that he wanted sex all the time. Even when I would say I can't, or the doctor said no because of this or whatever, like that was, it's forbidden. I want it. You know, like, it became that.
Yeah.
Or where I used to work, you know, I used to obviously wake up early, get ready. He used to always want some in the morning before I left. To then later find out, right, that he's watching porn when I'm not home. So it's like...
Now, in retrospect, if I may add, okay, just to provide context, okay, yes, I did want sex a lot. 2 reasons. One, I found you very, very, very attractive. Like, I was very turned on by you. And 2, I was also filled with anxiety because I just uprooted from Atlanta to New York. And I remember very briefly, I was going to go try to sleep in Central Park illegally. And I was then offered a couch. So, with offering me the couch, seeing you more, I was like, damn, and I'm anxious about this whole situation, because it's like, it was weird in the beginning. You know, like, I was like, damn, she could kick me out, and she has every right. You know, like, if she doesn't like me or she doesn't find it attractive that I'm semi-homeless, like, she's within her right, you know what I'm saying? She allowed me to stay, you know, and maybe through guilt, I don't know, or just her beautiful, charismatic personality, you know, she's just so generous and loving. But then it turned into, you know, a more solidified relationship, honestly. And then I started working through things, and that's what I wanted to highlight. So my understanding of sex was different back then, because I came from terrible relationships that were just shattered and broken from beginning to end, because I was looking for a woman to conquer. I wasn't looking for a woman to respect. So when I came into this relationship, I started understanding that I couldn't conquer you, and I shouldn't conquer you. But that wasn't immediate, right? That was part of the growth in the last 5 years. And I will be vulnerable and admit, I try to conquer you by having sex with you so quickly. Like, that was
Yeah,
my
you
stamp.
did. That I was like, what the fuck? Like, this became like, I picked him up in jail, and then he's like, come on, let's have sex, type of thing. And it's like, wait a minute, like,
Yeah, that's a
like,
good point.
hold your horses, bro. Like,
Yeah. No, and in retrospect, I do feel bad.
and
about
that was a turn off for me. It was definitely a turn off for me in the beginning. An immediate turn off when that was experienced, but I had a history of not voicing myself. And it's crazy because we had to have that conversation where he was like, dang, like, I apologized and this and that, but you didn't voice yourself. So I allowed myself to be like an object. Because I thought it was expected of me or something. Because I was so used to that. Until we both started looking into like our past and stuff like that. And it's like, are we going to continue repeating these patterns, or are we going to start our own thing in this relationship?